Live. We're live. Dan's eating a pizza.
Hello. I'm eating a pizza. I don't really know what to say
What
to that.
kind of pizza is it?
It's one that I've just made.
Pizza.
Well, I didn't just
Oh,
make it then in the short gap between the shows.
homemade pizza.
I made it earlier. Yeah, it's what's it got on it? It's got pepperoni on it. It's got a bit of ham on it.
Okay.
Obviously it's got mozzarella on it. It's got some other cheese.
I'm gonna
Um,
switch from the stopwatch to the timer.
okay.
Because according to my recorder, we've got 1 hour 25.
Well, I'm hoping that's going to be more than enough, to be honest.
I'm gonna put 1 hour 20. That's our hard limit.
Uh-huh.
It's the hard limit, baby.
Well, I don't know about you, but I was assuming this would be like an hour or less than an hour even.
Yes, me too. But you
I
know
don't
how
know.
it goes when we assume.
True. That's very true. I've now got another piece of pizza which I'm going to commence with.
Oh, he's got. Well, let's see. That does look. Yeah. Didn't make me any. Damn it. Now I'm hungry. I want pizza. Fuck.
It's in the post.
Is it?
It fits through a letterbox.
True, it does.
Mhm.
That would be good. We need drone delivery for pizza.
Like the Amazon drone system.
Yeah, for pizza.
Mm.
Pizza Hut drone delivery. Something.
Yeah, Pizza Hut's not that great. I mean, Pizza Hut's okay, but I've never found them.
Really good.
They're not that great. I don't think they're not.
I'm
Mm.
partial to Domino's.
Again, I'm not thrilled
I
with
like
Domino's.
them. I used to work for them in Australia. Got a soft spot.
Brand loyalty.
Yeah. I don't know.
Is
Yeah.
anyone still around in RC? Oh, apparently.
Shall we do this show? Oh no, you're still eating pizza, sorry.
I just finished this last
Oh,
bit.
I'm gonna drink something then.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
It's just really exciting for people listening to the audio, the live audio.
Fantastic. Yeah, you gotta realize this is the second show in a row.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Lunch break with Dan and Fab, except it's evening.
Yeah.
It's dinner time. Dinner time with Dan and Fab. Episode 14. Today we're having crunchy pizza.
Yeah,
We
it's very
should
great.
we should do a cooking show.
Really?
Outlaws cooking. Cooking outlaws.
There's quite a few drunk cooking shows, isn't there, I believe?
Yeah, I could do that.
Mm-hmm.
I could do that. What do we call it? Pissed kitchen?
Hey, that sounds horrible.
uh, who we call it? Booze and schmooze.
Booze and schmooze. No,
Booze and snooze. I don't know.
booze and food. It would have to be. Yeah.
Booze
According to
and
my
food.
recorder, I'm just checking. I've also got 1 hour 25.
Okay.
So that's right.
Let's start recording then,
Let's do
and
this.
let's do the show. Okay, I am recording. Are you recording?
No, but I will be in a second now.
Okay.
I am now
Countdown is
recording.
running.
Yeah.
Countdown is running.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll try and start the show then. Haven't done this in a while, so this is experimental. Here we go. Well, that certainly didn't work, did it?
No.
Yeah. That
Oh,
was
hello.
muted. Sorry. Let's do that again. Here we go. Take two.
Six Gun Production.
Whoa.
What happened then? We
I'm
lost.
not recording for one thing. No,
You're
I'm
not.
recording.
Uh,
Okay. Yeah, this is going well, isn't it?
yeah.
Okay. Take three.
Six Gun Productions. New media, new rules.
The Codex Astartes names this maneuver Steel Rain.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Steel Rain episode 4. I think I have to look this up on the website. I'm Fab, now located in Isenhagen, Germany. I think last time we spoke I was as well, but I can't remember. It's been like 9 months.
Yeah, it's been a while. Hello, everyone. My name's Dan, and this is, you may know us from Linux Outlaws. You may know us from such podcasts as Linux Outlaws and other things.
Well, you might know us from Steel Rain episode 3, which according to my notes was on the 29th of December, 2013.
Okay, so in that case, yeah, you would have been in Germany by then, wouldn't you? Yeah.
That was on GTA 5, that show.
Oh wow, okay, yeah. One of my favourite games, actually. Still one of my favourite games, unsurprisingly. Yeah, so we don't do this very often because, well, as that suggests, the last time was 9 months ago. Yeah, we like to talk about games occasionally, and it's
Like
quite
now.
rare actually that there are games that Dave's not here today. He's still off somewhere in his train, his murder train.
Murder train, yeah.
Yeah, around Europe somewhere. But yeah, it's rare that you and I end up talking about the same game because, well, I don't play a massive amount of games for a start, but then even when I do, they're not always the same kind of games that you
have to force you to.
So, well, no, none of it's Grand Theft Auto, you don't.
Yeah.
Or maybe there are other games that I like.
Okay, there will be the next episode will be out when the next GTA is out.
So wait for 5 years, yeah. So yeah, but we are
point on the multiplayer, I think.
Yeah, that's true. What was I going to say? Yeah, today, but we have got a game that we both played. I mean, you've completed it. I haven't actually completed it, but I've got quite far through it today. And it actually links back to something we talked about. We talked about it, presumably we talked about the first episode on Linux Outlaws, I would imagine.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, a game called The Journey Down, which is an adventure game. So it's a point and click. You have to solve puzzles, you have to talk to people, you have to figure things out. It's not like a fighting game or a racing game or anything like that. It's very much a kind of a story-based game. And we talked about the first episode, the first part of it, first installment, if you like, a while ago. And then we were very lucky to get a copy of the sequel, the second part, the Journey Down Part 2, which is what we're going to talk about today.
Actually, I retweeted the developers, when they were talking about this, and then they immediately said, "Oh, do you want a key?" And a
retweet pays off, yeah.
Yeah, cheap bastard that I am, said yes. Also because I loved the first game. It was really cool. It was a bit short, but the second game is actually longer. And maybe because, I mean, it's been ages. Oh god, I'll look up the LO episode. We talked. Check Linux Outlaws. Google is our friend.
Yeah.
Because we can't remember. I can't. I have to say, this is the second podcast we record tonight. In case you haven't.
It is. Yeah.
Listen to the LO that preceded. Well, you wouldn't because this is a podcast. Probably when you listen to it, it's weird. Anyway, I have been drinking the famous German. Well, not actually famous, but it's kind of a magical concoction called Bohnschluck. It's got, how much alcohol does it have? That tells you everything. 43%.
Like 43%. Oh my god.
So, Linux Outlaws episode 296, legendary episode called Salty Sea Dogs, 3rd of February 2013.
3rd of February. Oh, so that's not long ago as I thought, actually. I thought it might have been like 2 years ago or something.
Not that much longer ago than SR episode 3.
No, not really. No, not at all. So I should point out that, in case you're wondering, we keep saying Salty Sea Dogs because that was what I kept doing. I really like the characters' voices, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But yeah, there's a bit in the first game where he says, "Avast, you salty sea dog," and yeah, something to that effect.
Also, there's one. I'm looking at the screenshot where it says, "Hey Rasta woman."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about the
first. About the game. It works on Linux, which is great. It runs on Linux, Windows, and Mac.
And iOS. Very cool. And it's coming to Android. The old
iOS, okay.
Yeah, the first version actually runs on Android and iOS, and the new version currently is only on Windows and iOS, but it's gonna come to Mac and Android as well. It's it works quite well on a tablet. Well, I haven't played it on the tablet, but the interface, it's kind of you can see how it would work pretty well on the tablet.
Yeah, and we should tell people, although we're cheap and didn't pay for it, it's $8.99, which is not a lot of money.
Well, I
American
would have paid
dollars.
for it, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean it's well worth the money. Obviously, we'll talk more about in depth, what we thought of it and stuff. But yeah, I think it's pretty much it's a bargain for that kind of thing. There's a trailer. If you go to thejourneydown.com, you will see on there a trailer and all the other stuff for the game. Yeah, so
I wanted to talk about the first game a little bit because it's been that long, and we could just talk about what kind of a game it is. So, if you've never looked at it, it plays pretty much like a classical adventure, like Monkey Island, or maybe Grim Fandango. It has a little bit of the charm of Grim Fandango, I would say. So it's basically beautifully hand-painted backgrounds.
Yeah, they are really nice.
The characters and everything in the foreground is animated in that kind of like cel shady 90s cartoon animation style. And their kind of thing, which I don't know, maybe it's because I don't know. For example, I can't, when I draw stuff, I can draw things, but I can't draw faces. I suck at it. So when I played the first game, I imagined that maybe, I don't know, they're not good at faces. Maybe that's not the thing at all, but that's what I always thought. So basically, every character, they have like African masks, which is it's kind of weird because it's got this feeling. The main character obviously has this like Jamaican reggae kind of Rasta.
Yeah, he's got dreadlocks and
he's got dreadlocks, but the mask is very like African.
It is.
All the characters basically have African masks as their faces, which is kind of cool. The two developers. Henrik is, I think, the guy who does the art. So maybe I'm doing him injustice. Maybe he's awesome at drawing faces, and this is just their thing, their shtick. Possible. But it's cool, whatever it is.
It does work really well, yeah. And the whole kind of it's like it's set in a fictional world, but it's got a lot of kind of Caribbean, Afro-Caribbean kind of influence to it. So there's a lot of calypso-y type music, and a lot of people have kind of Jamaican accents and African voices and stuff. And it's very cool. And the main character that you kind of control is called Bwana. And he's searching for his father, who's gone missing, without giving too much about the story, without revealing too much if you haven't played it at all.
You don't actually know that much, so can't.
Well, no, true, but that's the basic premise.
I thought the first episode, which is set kind of in this harbor, it's like a big town, but it's set in this harbor district, and the two guys, they have like a water taxi service or something. It's like a plane, water landing plane. Yeah. But that felt to me like very Monkey Island. It felt a lot more Caribbean. The second game, which I actually like as well, because I started playing it now when it's starting to get autumny here. And it was raining over the weekend when I played it. And the second part is a lot more like film noir. It's rainy streets kind of thing. It's really weird because they have this like really kind of weird geography going on. So it's kind of called, well, we wouldn't spoil it too much if you haven't played the first part, but it's basically called The Journey Down because there's a book in it that's called that way. And they travel down, like the first part and the second part is connected by basically they travel down I don't know what it is, a waterfall? It's like
something like that. Yeah, some weird kind of passage thing, yeah.
It's geographically so weird that you can't kind of understand it, which is kind of I mean, it doesn't it seems like it doesn't make sense from a real world kind of geography standpoint, but it's kind of cool as well.
Yeah, the thing I know we're probably getting ahead of ourselves here, but the thing I didn't understand is, as you said, it's supposed to be somehow like below the other world that you started at the start in the first game. But then they talk about the fact that you can get a train in the next one. They're like, oh, the trains used to go from St. Armando to yeah, I had no idea how that would work, but
it goes up something. I don't know.
the trains
there's
go up and
locks
down. Yeah.
probably- Have you seen what the boats look like? And you get like a book where you, like in the second part, they're called. It's funny. They're called Misters because
Yeah,
they
that's right,
troll
yeah,
them.
'cause,
It's like a double on. It's like Mister as in and then they also troll
Mr. and
like
Mrs.
the mist. And the boats. There's like stuff in the book about the boats. How like their keel is like very long and they kind
Oh,
of go up
massive!
the
Yeah,
rocks.
that's right. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like really weird. It's got like this quirky kind of sense. I think that's the most. Well, the mechanics are typical traditional adventure, like kind of Electronic Arts. The thing Double Fine is doing now, Tim Schafer.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the guys actually tweeted Tim Schafer that they're kind of inspired by him, which completely makes sense. But it's got like the mechanics obviously are like that, but then also the charm, like how everything's kind of weird and doesn't necessarily make sense, like the geography or that the boats are kind of like that long, but also they're floating because they're the mist. Like if you look, it's actually not water.
No, it's mist.
Because they dive down into it later, and you don't really it doesn't, like the laws of physics don't make any sense, but it's kind of cool. I don't know if I make any sense.
Yeah, you'd probably have to play it, but it's very interesting. It's very it's very
trying not to
atmospheric.
spoiler it as well, which
There's
is
also a kind of a 1930s kind of,
film noir.
particularly in this one. Yeah, there's that, but there's I suppose, but there's also a bit of a kind of a gangster type vibe to it because like the goons guys have got like Tommy guns. Thompson machine guns, and the cars are old kind of Model T Ford style cars, and people wear like hats and suits and stuff that they wouldn't
and
have
the
done.
music is very
A lot of jazz,
jazz.
Yeah.
Apparently I don't know if you know the Simon Sousa,
Mm-hmm.
who was a British jazz musician.
Okay, I'm
Apparently
looking him up.
died. He died during the making of this game. They have when you play through it in the end, they have a dedication to him. He did most of the music in there, which is I think the soundtrack's brilliant. It's really good. I'm actually gonna buy it. They have it on Bandcamp, and I'm actually looking to buy it because it's very atmospheric. It's very like this rainy streets kind of feel.
Yeah, it works very well. It does work very well. I think the gameplay in terms of like gameplay and stuff, as you said, it's very much kind of typical adventure game. You can mouse around on the screen, point and click and things, and walk over to things, talk to people quite a lot. One of the things I like most about the game is the characters that are in it are quite funny and quite interesting, and there's little jokes in it and things. It's got a lot of personality, if that makes sense. So when you speak
hell of a lot.
Yeah, and when you speak to certain characters, they're really funny. Like the two guys that are like stood at the dock, I always think are quite funny.
I was going to ask you if you got up to them, like the Mo. Yeah. They're like gangsters.
Mo and can't remember the other guy's name, but anyway, they're like proper, like got those wise guy kind of voices, and
it's amazing.
Yeah, they're very good. The characters are very kind of interesting, and I think the artwork's brilliant as well. I think it's obviously a deliberate decision to make the characters look kind of a bit blocky in a way, and so on. It's got a very stylized look, but it's very, very good. And I think
now that you think of it, if I look at like the lady they did, I mean it's still it's an African mask, but I think you can do faces.
I would say so. Yeah. So I mean, it's lots of puzzle solving, and as you'd expect, you've got to find, or you'll find a door when you can't get through it, so you have to find something to get through it with, and or solve puzzles. And I quite liked the, I can't remember if this was in the first one, but I quite liked trying to find people in the telephone thing and going in the phone
No,
box
that
and
was the first one. Yeah, that was cool.
yeah, trying to find people in the phone book and ringing them. There's a telephone box, and at some points during the game you have, spoilers. So you have to go and ring people, and I thought that was quite cool. And I did try for a while. There's probably all kinds of hidden bits in there that I couldn't be bothered with because there's a lot of names in the phone book. But I did try some random ones, thinking maybe I could make something happen. And more often than not, you just get like no answer. But very occasionally you do get an answer and so on. But yeah, it's very very cool.
Buana, he's so funny when you do like
Yeah.
as invariably in an
That's not
adventure
gonna
game.
work, man.
Yeah, you'll do, like use the toilet thing with the bird, and he's like,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't think that's a good. I can't do the accent, but he's like, I don't think that's a good idea. Like,
Yeah, he does say things like that. And so if you try and use an object, pardon me, which can't be used in the way that you're trying to use it. So, for example, if I try and use a pickaxe to I don't know, open a door that that you need a key to open or something or whatever else, he'll say stuff like that's not gonna work. I don't think that's gonna work.
I like the thing when he gets the pickaxe. It's like, oh, hello, you're my new best friend.
Yeah.
It's funny because you use that thing quite a lot.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, and if you try and use an item or give an item to somebody who you shouldn't do, he always says, "I don't think he's interested." So when you kind of like give them the thing, which is cool, and it's nice. It's got that nice kind of humor to it. It's very kind of innocent as well in some ways. There's no like, I don't know. I'd say it was very kid friendly kind of game as well.
Yeah, there are like double entendres in there, but like
maybe, but you wouldn't get them.
Adventure games, yeah, you can let kids play it because they just don't get it.
Oh man, that the sailor with his romantic, what's he call it? Romantic action film or something?
Yeah.
It's a romantic action film, and is this what I think it is?
He's good.
It's a romantic action film. Yeah.
There's so many just little bits in there. The first one, the first chapter you can basically play through in a few hours. For this, it's not very hard. Like if you're an adventure, if you're really good at adventures, this is probably easy. But still, it's a funny story. So it took me about a day. I played this through over the weekend because I had to write. Well, I did this on my own volition, but I want to write a review for CT. So the magazine I work for. So I played it through, and because I wanted to finish it in about 6 hours, because that was the time I had. I looked up the answer to puzzles twice, which isn't a lot through a game like this. And I would probably have figured it out in like 10 minutes, but I was like, I need to, I needed to get through this because I didn't have that much time. But it's quite a good mix, I think, for like somebody who played Day of the Tentacle, for example.
Yeah.
It would be pretty easy. But I still think you're still having fun because there are lots of funny bits in it, and you can click on weird things, and Buana says awesome things.
Yeah, you can do lots of interesting stuff. The first game, I seem to remember having, there were a couple of bits where I got stuck for a while. But like for example, with this new one, the second chapter, I'm not. I did play adventure games years ago when I was a kid, but I couldn't say I've done it recently. So I'm definitely not an expert when it comes to these things. But I found I got stuck at one point, and I think it was really late at night, and I'd been playing it for a while and whatever, and I just got fed up because I got stuck on this one point for quite a while. It seemed like ages. It was probably only half an hour or something. And then I went back to it last night and started, from the same point, and then immediately it was a lot easier, probably because I was more awake and so on. But I'd worked it out, and the puzzles are not ridiculously hard. I mean, that's in fact, a lot of them are quite easy, but still it's fun. I mean, I think half the challenge with these half the fun, I suppose, with these kind of games is watching the story. It's like an interactive film in some ways. You know, that's more what it's
Mm.
like, I suppose. One thing I did find slightly frustrating in the game, I don't know if you found this, or maybe not, but I can't remember if the first one was like this. Maybe it was, but there are bits where like the people are talking to you and you have to listen to them for ages before they explain something, and it just seemed to go on a bit too long. I was thinking, come on now, I've been listening to this guy for about like fucking 5 minutes and he hasn't said what I want him to. They seem to draw out for a long time, but I don't know. Maybe that's because they want to, you know.
No, I
Yeah,
haven't had
sure.
that. I actually just listen to them and I find it really funny.
Mm,
What I had in this game is I solved puzzles, I think, before you logically had to solve them.
okay.
Because you just get, you know how there's a puzzle and you need to solve it to advance, but you get to the point before you actually know that you have to solve it.
Yeah,
and
I've
for
had
me,
that with a couple of things. Yeah.
There's just stuff, and well, you just play with it, and then you solve the puzzle, and then later on, oh, I needed to do this. Oh, good, I already done that.
Mm,
But I think they know that because there's without spoilers, there's a scene
mhm.
where you're in the steelworks, and basically you
Oh
have to
yeah,
make
yeah,
a girder. But everything's there, so you kind of you don't know at that point necessarily why you have to make the girder.
Mm.
But there's everything there to make a girder, and you can figure it out. And well, first off, you try this thing, and he can't make a girder because there's a thing missing. And he's Buana says, "Oh damn it! I just wanted to make a girder." And so
Yeah,
you
just
kind
to
of
say I've made my own girder.
yeah, so you kind of know they know that at the it's kind of a self-referential humor thing.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, quite clever in that way. I mean, there were quite a few bits like that. I mean, I haven't finished it yet, so I've still got a bit to go. But yeah, last night I did the girder thing and lots of other bits. I found for some reason last night I must have been in the right frame of mind or something, but I flew through loads of it.
Was alcohol involved?
No,
That always
strangely
puts
not.
me in the right frame of mind. Like if I was a detective, I was constantly drinking because I can solve puzzles.
Well, a lot of detectives
Booze.
do. I mean, in films, if you watch like Humphrey Bogart or someone in, Maltese Falcon and all that, he's always got a glass of whiskey or something, or a
I
bottle
need
of
to
whiskey.
watch that again. Good movie.
Yeah, it's a classic. Yeah, Sam Spade and all that.
Let me just get my pipe.
There's an interesting, as we mentioned, interesting cast of characters. So it centers around Buana and his brother, who's called Quito.
I think he's just his mate.
Isn't he his brother?
They're both
No, he
adopted.
says our father. Yeah, all right. Yeah,
They're
so
both
they
adopted.
might be step brothers or whatever you want to
I
call it.
noticed he wasn't in this as much as in the first part. He goes away pretty early, and then you don't see him for a while.
Yeah, I haven't got back to a bit where I've seen him again yet, so I'm assuming he'll turn up. Yeah, well, I assumed he'd turn up at some point. I think I'm on that bit where I'm looking for him again now, actually. After doing all the other bits. But yeah, the characters are really cool. They're interesting. I like the character of the police chief, whatever. He's
Barlow.
He's kind of badass, and he's got a really cool voice. He's got like a Samuel L. Jackson type voice, and
He's got a hat. He's
and he's got a
smoking
hat.
a
Yeah.
cigar.
So the characters are very cool, very interesting, and fun to kind of interact with. I would say, I mean, I don't know, you've completed this, and I didn't know you'd looked up. I haven't looked up any of the answers to anything so far. I've just kind of done it the hard way. I would say, I mean, I've probably played it for about, I don't know, 6-7 hours maybe.
Yeah, you're pretty. From what I can tell, you're not that far off from the end.
I guess that wasn't that far from the end, yeah, because I've played it for quite a long time.
One thing I like about it, without spoiling you, you get
it's the very end when blah blah blah.
You get to the point where it's the very end, and then it's like, okay, this is the point where the credits roll, and I think the screen turns black or something, and then it just comes back on, and there's another bit with puzzles, which kind of teases the third part.
Right. Okay.
Which I kind of really like, because it's this part is like the first part, very much from its aesthetic and its atmosphere, one discrete thing. but you get to the end, and then they basically tease the aesthetics of the last bit, the third part, which I think it is well done, because I mean it took them like a year and a half to do this. And I kind of know why. We following the guys on Twitter. They they actually when you finish it, you get like a behind the scenes thing, and they talk about how they, after they finished the first game, they like closed down their office and went to GDC in the US, and they're from Sweden, I think, and but they sold like they spent all their money on being at GDC and parties and shit, and then the guy who programmed it spent like the last summer in trailers and shit, doing it, and like Theo. I think Theo is the guy. I don't know. But basically, he was like in a trailer working on it, which was his office and shit. So so it might be like another year or whatever for the next part. But I really like how they kind of teaser that in a really cool way.
Yeah, I was going to ask, actually. I haven't looked into this so much. I was going to ask how many parts there are going to be.
They're planning 3. So
they're
that's
saying
the
3.
last part. Yeah.
Okay, very cool. So it's been, I mean, we talked about it, as you said, February 2013. So it's been, 18 months since the last one? So I'm guessing in another year and a bit, they might get the final bit.
I think they're working on it now. So the last part, obviously, you're gonna learn. You're supposed to learn everything about Kito and Buana and their father
and Conan Dodo.
Yeah, I love that name. It's Captain Conan Dodo. Did you see a guy called Conan Dodo? And then one character actually says, "Well, that's kind of a funny name." Which I was waiting the whole fucking. They talk about him in like the first part a lot.
That's right. Yeah.
I was waiting like the whole fucking game for somebody to say, "Well, that is kind of a funny name."
Yeah, it is. It is definitely an odd name. I think you talked about how long it's taken them to do it and so on. I've actually found that I'm running this on a relatively low-powered laptop, or I was. It's only got an Intel graphics card in it. It's not like not a particularly great machine, but the graphics were really, really nice and surprisingly smooth as well. So the cutscenes and the animation. I suppose it's easier with an adventure game because there are only so many things you can. Do you know what I mean? Only so many things you can possibly do. But still, I found the graphics are really impressive. I think.
I think it's just also because it's targeted also for the iPad, which I guess it's a really big market for them.
Yeah.
Because a game of that length and that style, I would think I actually have to get it. I'll probably buy it for the iPad just for the hell of it, because
to try it.
I want to see how it works, because I think that's probably the perfect game, because the controls work really well on a touchscreen, and it's like kind of the real length, the right length and stuff. And you can do it's a perfect game for a device like that, because you can do like one puzzle and then do something else. They actually, in the making of at the end, they show the city you're in. This chapter is called Port R2. So I think it's like...
That's right, yeah, Port R2.
Which reminds me of Port Arthur. I wonder if it's named after Port Arthur. And they show how the city was like in an early version, how like basically you can... Right now, like the game now, there's ways you can go and they're kind of set. But apparently they had it so you could go from every point to every other point.
Oh, okay.
There were also different. At one point in this game, there's a map you can look at in the mayor's office, and there's like all these different locations.
Yeah.
And apparently, some of these locations in the initial drafts you could actually go to.
Yeah, I wondered about that, because I mean, I looked at the map and I thought, I wonder if you're supposed to go to these places, but there's no way to get to most of them.
Yeah, I don't know if they scaled it down because of the story, because to make to make it easier.
Yeah.
Or to make the story more streamlined, which is good, or maybe also because of constraints for the iPad or something. But I think in the end how it turned out was really good. I like games like that. I like if they're not too hard. Because while I understand people like puzzles and stuff, I usually play games for the story,
Mhm.
and this is a game where the story is great and the atmosphere it's just its own thing. It doesn't
Yeah.
make sense. Like all the stuff, stuff in there with the stuff with the nightclub, and then
Mm.
spoiler, pirates turn up and shit
Yeah.
happens, and it gets really weird. But it's kind of it. While it wouldn't make sense in our, it's hard to explain, but it kind of doesn't make sense in our world, and all the
Mm.
laws of physics don't make sense. But in its own world, it does.
Yeah, and I think yeah, like any game to some degree, you have to kind of buy into it as well. And the fact that the characters are so like interesting and funny often and well designed, and the voice acting's really good, and the atmosphere of the thing and everything, that all draws you in, and it doesn't really seem far-fetched, even though it's kind of weird. The style, the kind of visual style, reminded me very slightly of. I might have said this on the last one, but it reminded me very slightly of the kind of the puppet thing that they had going on for the Sackboy thing they had going on for Little Big
Mm.
Planet. In some ways, it's that kind of thing with the the masks and all the other things. And it doesn't really sit in the real
Yeah.
world, but it doesn't need to.
Stylized in a way.
Mm. Yeah,
But
yeah.
you always know what they mean.
Mm.
And it's got little things. It's like there's at some point you get to a computer.
That's right.
You
Yeah.
have like this old school terminal, and that's like done
And it
really
has
well.
the noise of the
Yeah,
like the old keys and
it's
stuff.
like little things like that. Or you're like in the bar,
Mm.
and that's the barkeep, and you keep talking to the
Yeah.
barkeep, and there's like the misters are in the background, and it's like the background sounds.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
no, I was just gonna say in the bar also there's the radio. Did you do the thing of tuning the
Yes.
radio into
Yeah.
the?
Yeah.
Although I haven't found any use for that yet, but I did
Well,
tune it into the radio.
you'll get
I imagine I probably will do at some point.
get to the use, yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, that works really well, and the whole thing is like one thing especially the later Monkey Island
Mm.
games did really well is like not only the beautiful hand drawn stuff. I just love adventure games. Like talking about this, I know I want to play Monkey Island again, and I probably will because I just love adventure games like this, and I've missed them, which is I think one of the reasons why I like this game so much. But the way they did the ambient sounds,
Yeah.
one of my favorite games ever was a German game called Schleichfahrt. I think we talked about this.
Yeah, because I kept calling it Sly Fart.
Yeah, yeah. It was called. Yeah, I think we talked about it on CRA 1, didn't we?
Yeah, we
Our
did.
favorite games. Archimedean Dynasty was called in the in the UK. But basically, it was a sub simulator, whatever. It's like a action, but whatever. When you were in a station, like when you didn't do the sub fighting stuff,
Yeah.
and you docked at the station, you had this like drawn. It was a hand drawn representation of the station. All like it actually, pretty much like this. It wasn't moving actually. There was just a picture, but they made like light effects and stuff, so it looked like it was an actual scene. Like none of the characters standing in the docking area were moving,
Yeah.
or like their arms would move, but it was just like really, because this was like, I don't know, what was it, like 95 or something, 96, 97, but they didn't have the means to really animate it a lot, but it felt like a world because Schleichfahrt had this way of like doing the ambient sounds of like people talking in the background, water dripping. You felt like you were in an underwater like station, and this kind of does it as well. Like the rain on the road. It's not like I don't think they went through a huge lot of trouble to record like a lot of ambient sounds, but the way they use them are like just subtle. And like in the bar, there's like people talking in the background and stuff like that. It's just really well done.
I think I mentioned it briefly before, but I think the voice acting is really good, as it was in the first one. But it's it's really nicely done, and it adds a lot to it. And I think that you can hear that when they were recording it, they must have been having fun doing it, because You know, it's kind of silly and it's fun and stuff, but I think it adds a lot to it. It's you know, you can tell when you watch like a film or you listen to a band or you play a game or something. If the people who are making it enjoyed making it, it kind of, you know, it's a lot better somehow. I think you can definitely tell that with this game.
To use a PR term, it's like synergy.
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean,
that goes on like that crackling in the atmosphere. Have you met Reynolds, the taxi?
yeah, the taxi driver. Yeah,
Well,
he takes you to the bit where you do the girder. Yeah, he's an interesting character as well. The R stands for ride.
Yeah.
As I keep saying, Ride Reynolds. Yeah, he's got a really good voice as well. So I think I did this last time, but I think I did this when we reviewed the first game. But I'm just going to put it out there. You know, if they need a voice for the next game, I'd be really happy to do one. You know, just even a small part or something. One of the voices. I noticed there are a lot of kind of English accents in this one, more than maybe the first one. It's felt like.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that, and there's also the guy. Yeah, the Misters. Yeah, they've all got kind of English. You know, very British.
We should write them. I still want to be. I think I said this last time as well. I want to be the evil German dude in a game someday.
Well, there you go. You could find a part for that.
They must have a part for an evil German dude.
I'm sure they could think of one.
You know, in the first part, the waiter who kind of looked like Hitler. Remember that waiter who wouldn't let you pass?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been a while since I played the first game, but yeah.
So you haven't found the use for the erotic action movie yet, haven't you?
No, I only just got to that bit last night. Where I got
that is funny when you use that. And also, what I like, it's like a VHS tape.
Yeah, it's a tape. Yeah.
I mean, that's the other things. Like this is like film noir. The cars are like kind of from the like 50s. And
yeah, but you're right actually. Yeah, because there's vinyl record thing in the radio broadcast.
Yeah, and then the computer's from the 80s.
The computer's very old-fashioned.
And there's VHS, so it's like all this like it's like nostalgia from all different decades mixed.
Yeah, and it's nicely done as well.
And once again, it just reminds me of Schleichfahrt, the way it's like hand painted, but then like little things are animated. You know, you have like you might have a street and you have cars going back and forth, or when he's in the prison yard with the digging, it's stationary, but like these little carts from the digging thing keep moving up and down. So it feels like an actual, it's like smoke and mirrors. It's not actually like completely animated, but you don't care because it just feels real. It's like the feeling that counts.
Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah. And as you said, the music and all that kind of stuff makes a big difference. I was just looking at, you can get a CD apparently of the soundtrack to the first one.
I get that. I need to.
You can also get there's some stuff for the second game as well. So that's worth checking out. If you're especially if you're into jazz and stuff, it's really kind of mellow jazz. Very nice though.
It's very Ethan Hagen fog.
Yeah. I don't know what, I haven't looked up what the requirements are for this, but as I said, this machine I'm using now really is not a massively fast machine. It's an i3, Intel i3, low end kind of i3 laptop. With what is it now? It's got 4 gig of RAM, which is not that much these days.
Well, I think it's got pretty low specs.
Yeah, and it's just an internal Intel graphics card, so it's not even got a fancy 3D graphics card, but it works really well. And
I was actually, when I was playing it, Katie was saying, I was playing it on my PC, and she was like, "Can you put headphones on?" I'm like, "Wait, this is distracting." And she's like, "No, I don't want to get spoilers."
All right, so
actually
she's
set up Steam family sharing, which I want to set up, but I hadn't set up before. Which basically you create a second Steam account, which you can. Well, this is one of the cool things about Steam. It might be DRM, but it actually allows you to like share games with like your partner or whatever. And so I set this up. So Katie want to play at some point as well.
That is cool. We should probably talk about. I was just looking actually at different ways of getting the game. Obviously, we've mentioned Steam.
You can also get it on the Humble store, which then it's DRM free.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. I was going to look at that. And also, it says you can get a direct download. It says direct download or Steam key.
But I think that's only. Oh yeah, that's for chapter 1. It's for,
No,
like,
chapter
if
2. It says direct download. Well, it says on their website anyway. The Journey
Oh yeah,
Down, chapter
yeah,
2,
that's the
8.99.
humble. The
Direct
widget,
download or Steam.
the widget you're seeing there. If you look at the bottom, it says humble widget. That's through the Humble Indie store.
Oh, I see. Right. Yeah.
And yeah, you can get the direct download there, and actually you can get it for macOS there as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's it's with that is DRM free, and that includes a Steam key, which that's actually one of the things I like about the Humble Bundle and the Humble Store, which is why I buy lots of stuff for them, because I'm evil and I like Steam. But you can just get it there, and you get the direct download. But if you use Steam, you also get a Steam key.
It's a very clever business from from the Humble point of view, because they must know that people are going to use Steam, and rather than just say,
Yeah.
well, it's our way or the highway kind of thing, they're letting
Well,
people use Steam if they want, but still
also-
purchase through them.
Also from Steam, because they just
Mhm.
give you a key, and you must think it costs probably a fraction of the price. Otherwise, Humble wouldn't make any money.
Mm.
So that's Steam knows that. Well, you might use this download, but you can also get the key.
That's very true. So what else do we want to say about it then?
Good.
What haven't we covered?
You should get it. It's
Very good, yeah.
it's it's not that expensive. It's basically a weekend game. I think you should get the first one. If you haven't played the first one, you need to play the first one as well.
I'm just looking to see if there's any kind of bundle to get the two of them.
You missed the Steam deal when this came out.
Ah.
You could get like the first one for 60 cents.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. The first one's also available on Desura. So I'm guessing they're getting the second one up there as well.
We'll get on there as
But
well. Yeah.
I think $6.99 is worth it for the first one as well. It's a bit shorter, but yeah, come on. I mean, I really the guys who are doing it are really nice guys,
Mm.
and I think they really, you should. These are these kind of like they're indie. It used to be they're like big developers and indie developers, right? And you say, well, the indie developers, they need the money. But these days, people like Notch who did Minecraft are indie developers.
He doesn't
like
need any more money.
Like the guy who kickstarted, like the Elite guys are probably, they're kind of indie developers, but they got like millions of pounds. Like Star Citizen got millions of pounds, and they're kind of indie developers because they're not, part of a big studio. So these days there are indie developers, and there are indie developers that live in trailers to bring you awesome games like this, and they really need the money.
Mhm.
So that's actually one of the reasons why I think I'm gonna buy it on the iPad as well, because they gave me the Steam keys. But I kind of feel bad because I got my enjoyment out of this.
Yeah,
And
of course. Yeah.
Even though I wrote about it for CD and we covered it here, I think I still,
And I mean, well, $9
What's
effectively.
$9?
Yeah, I was going to say it's really not much, is it?
It's like a latte, and I don't know. That's pretty much a latte at Starbucks. Well, 2 maybe.
I'd say it's more like 2. Yeah.
It's like a sandwich at Starbucks.
Here we go. Dollars to pounds. I'm going to have a look. I think it's about £5. Let's have a look. So $9. Yeah, £5 pretty much. £5.50. So £5.59. So I mean, these days you can't even buy 2 pints of beer for that in a pub. You can buy one and maybe some crisps or something, but you can't buy. In a lot of pubs, you can't even get 2 pints of beer for that. So it's definitely worth that when you think of the kind of enjoyment that you get out of it and so on. Not that you wouldn't necessarily get enjoyment out of 2 pints of beer, but at the same time, you wouldn't get a whole weekend out of 2 pints unless you drink incredibly slowly. And at that point, how much fun are you really going to have?
That's the yellow rating scale. By the way, something I've read on their page while you were comparing beer prices.
Yes.
They actually say at the bottom of the page, they say the art, shapes, and patterns of the Journey Down are deeply inspired by Central African carvings, and the characters themselves are largely based on genuine masks from countries such as Tanzania, Kenya, and Nigeria.
Really?
That's kind of cool. So
I didn't know that. Yeah.
they were kind of reluctant. I think I remember they were the devs, Henrik and Theo, were kind of reluctant to talk about this, to come on the show last time as well.
Yeah.
But I think at some point we just have to get them on because I want to know how the hell, like these guys from Sweden, got into the African masks thing.
Yeah, and they do seem to do a really good job of it as well. The thing you were talking about before about indie developers and different types of indie developers. The thing I like about playing games like this particularly is it kind of reminds me, and I only remember this very vaguely because I was very young, but it kind of reminds me of the kind of the golden age of indie gaming, and not indie, the golden age of computer games, really, when it was all new.
Before there was,
and there weren't big companies, there weren't an EA, there wasn't Activision, all these things. It was guys or girls in bedrooms writing code on Spectrums and making games like that had mistakes in them. Like Manic Miner, famously, you couldn't finish it because it had a mistake in it that meant you couldn't finish it. But I love that. I love the kind of, it's real, it's real people making real games, and when the quality of something like this is just staggering, really, I think. When you think about like the amount of resources, I mean, this is the sort of thing that with the amount of money that companies like Activision and even Rockstar and all these people spend on games, they'd probably knock out within a lunch break or something because they'd spend that much money on it and have that many people working on it. It's incredible the amount of stuff that these guys have managed to do.
As much for lunch as these guys.
Yeah, possibly. So, I mean, for me, it kind of made me think of all the classic in games and stuff and so on. I've actually got I don't know if this is gonna make any sense without the video, but I could play the trailer actually. I'll play some of the sound from the trailer if people want to hear that. What do you think?
Let's try. I can't remember if it makes sense.
Well, we can try and see what happens. So it's loaded. I'm probably going to get a YouTube advert now. Oh no. Okay, so obviously it starts off with a bit. I'm waiting for some. Yeah, so far there's not actually anything happening.
That's the atmosphere.
Yeah.
I always figured I'd bite the bullet in the streets of Port Arthur, but not like this. I used to own this city, be on top, be #1. But that comes at a price. The mist, it corrodes everything. Time passes, and like trash in the gutters, your moral compass decomposes, and it corrupts you to the very bone. Then one day that dame shows up, some hothead from topside. That dame and that clown of a pilot. They started tearing up the pass like there was no tomorrow. The game charging back at me like a freight train on eel fumes. And it hit me. It hit me bad.
Yeah, it's mostly visual now, so I'm going to fade it out. But
that introduces it quite well. Also,
yeah, it does. And you get the music, obviously, there.
You get the atmosphere there.
Yeah, but that's the character I was talking about, who reminded me a bit of
Barlow.
Yeah.
Release Chief Barlow.
Yeah, he's very cool. I like him. So
that intro is very film noir. We always figured out about the bullet in the streets of Port Arthur.
And then that dame showed up.
Crazy pilot.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think I don't know. I've said all I can really say about it. But
you should get that game.
Go and try it. Yeah.
Go out, get that game, get a bottle of whiskey, and the next rainy weekend is yours wherever you are. That's. And get yourself a Trilby hat or something, or maybe a fedora could work. Yeah. And get into the film noir kind of thing. So if you go to thejourneydown.com. You can never have too much film noir. Film noir is awesome.
That's very true, yeah. If you go to thejourneydown.com, you can find everything you need
there. Where you can find the bloody game.
I did say that near the start.
You did.
But I thought I'd say it again, just to finish off. It's available for, as you said, it's available for Windows, Mac, Linux, iOS at the moment. You can get it on the iPad. Android version in the works, apparently. So that'll be cool when it comes out, and it's really cool. And I suppose I was going to say, if you want a game that's fun you could give to your kids or something, then there's nothing offensive particularly in it or anything as well. So you can share it with the family and stuff, and it's very cool.
It is really good.
And with that, I think I've run out of things to say about it. So
yeah, that reminds me, we have an outro song for this show, but I haven't queued it up.
Oh, okay.
But I can find it.
I'll keep talking while you do that. I say that, but I don't really know what I've got to say. Yeah, go and get yourself a copy of The Journey Down.
It's not gonna mix with all that jazzy stuff. But...
It's not jazz. I thought you were going to play some of the... We could have finished off with the music from the game.
Monophonic.
Oh, right, yeah, go on.
Yeah, so that's it. That's Steel Rain episode 4.
Mm-hmm.
We hope we'll be back sooner than we...
The 9
were
months.
last time.
Yeah.
I've got so many games to talk about. We really should find the time. I mean, we can kind of do this after LO, from time to time, can't we?
Yeah, although that's predicated on me actually playing the games and finding the time to do that's more difficult.
No. We could just bullshit.
Well, I could just, yeah.
You just.
That's what I normally do.
Yeah,
that's what I normally do.
Funny accents, and I play the games. That works. And you just
I can do that.
I think we can do that. Yeah, well, I should get Dave involved as well.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like I'm home alone anyway. Like the wife's in Hamburg.
Like
and
Macaulay Culkin.
I might, I can sleep. I can lie around in my underwear drunk, or I can do podcasts. So.
Please don't do naked podcasts, not with video.
That would be audio only.
Yeah, even so, the audio would probably be too...
The fappening.
Oh.
Now, as
the
a
fappening.
podcast, the fappening.
The fappening. It
I
could
should
be.
really do a podcast called The Fappening.
Yeah. You could do. All right, so we're going to have what? Ponyphonic, did you say?
Yeah. Take
German.
me to the bonus level because I need an extra life, which is our
Good song.
traditionally for 3 episodes so far. Something's been our outro song.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, do you hear that?
I hear something, yeah.
That's an ICE. That's Dave's murder train.
Ah, right. Okay.
Elon Hagen.
I can hear something, yeah.
I had the window open because after LO it got so hot. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really loud. The train track's like maybe 800 meters away.
Well, you know how close I live to the train's track, so
Well, you live like
right on top of it, yeah. So
you could actually jump on the train and hijack it, which is kind of.
You could have a go, but it's quite far down. You'd probably have a job jumping down there. It's quite far down.
Like a parachute. It's really weird. Like they cut like this channel into the bedrock or something.
Yeah, it's massive, and they must have spent a long time blowing that out. You can get you can see there's like the blast marks, or they blast it out.
You go in when you go into Lime Street Station. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah,
it's kind of cool. Anyway, let's get out of here. We'll see you again at an undisclosed time.
Yeah.
For another episode.
What did I say? Don't call us, we'll call you, or something? I had this sign-off thing, didn't I? I can't remember what it was. All right, well, I think it was that. Don't call us, we'll call you. Thanks for listening.
And for some reason, the music is muted.
Yeah, I was poised. Yeah, waiting for something to
Let's
happen.
do that again. I'm not gonna edit this out. It's just like.
No, who cares?
That's
All right.
Why was that mute? That shouldn't be muted. I don't.
Who knows?
Maybe. Okay. I'll try it again.
All right. Let's
what was
do this.
the call sign again?
Don't call us, we'll call you.
Well, obviously that doesn't work, does it?
Should we just cut this in afterwards? It's obviously not working.
I'll do that. For some reason.
Well, never mind. Never mind, folks. The music doesn't work.
Why? It must be like the machine died.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is on mute for some reason. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll just cut it in at the end.
You're going to have to play it for people who bothered to listen, if they bothered to listen live.
Okay.
Because they've spent this long getting there.
I'll play it for you.
Oh,
Just
rewind. Can I get a rewind?
That's quite cool, isn't it?
Mm.
Anyway, here we go. Just because you listened live.
I see trouble on my way. Deepest dungeons, far away from my home. From my home. I tell you I'm in danger. Tell you evil will arise. Take me, hold me, show me some bonus points, some golden coins. I need an extra life. I need an extra life. Take me, hold me, show me some bonus points, some golden coins. I need an extra life. I need an extra life. Jumping. Hiding. All alone, so all alone. I tell you I'm in danger. I tell you evil will arise. Take me, hold me, show me some bonus points, some golden coins. I need an extra life. I need an extra life. Take me, hold me, show me some bonus points, some golden coins. I need an extra life. I need an extra life.
Do the robot.
God,
We
that was
are
almost
robots.
perfect timing. I just walked back in just as it was finishing there. That
We
wasn't
are
deliberate.
robots. Kill all the humans. The humans are dead. The humans are dead.
We poisoned the grasses with poisonous gases.
We poisonous gases.
Uh-huh.
The humans are dead. Ah.
On that note, I'm going to stop my recorder. I've only got about 15 minutes left.
Yep.
Oh no, 20 minutes. So,
That's good. That was an hour.
yeah, almost exactly an hour. And thanks to everyone who persevered and waited for us to come back and all that kind of stuff, or
Yeah, for
rejoined. Yeah.
You rule.
Definitely go and check The Journey Down. Go and check it out. It's
a
really good.
game. It is.
I might try and play it now. Actually, I might try and finish it now because I can't have much to go.
Yeah, you should be. Yeah, you should. Well, there's quite a fiddly bit at the very end when you think it's over, and then that's the thing.
Oh, you've spoilt it now. Well, you've told me there's a bit at the end, so I suppose I'll work that out.
Oh my god!
There's a false ending.
Oh,
I
that's-
now know there's a false ending.
That reminds me of when Roy tries to watch that movie. You know, when they go to the German cannibal.
Oh yeah.
I love it when you watch it with Venom, like Junior. He's like,
That's right. Yeah.
it's just because they're going back in time. No, they're all zombies. But one of them
right,
is,
yeah.
one of them is a robot. It keeps going, like, for
He just
for,
keeps trying to guess. Yeah.
half a minute. He's like, they're all dead. They're in hell.
Mm. He's really good. I like that. What's his name? Douglas. Is it Douglas?
Yeah,
Douglas
Douglas.
Venom. He's really good. Matt Berry. He's very good. But when he keeps calling Jen up to point at like a fly
The
that's in his
fly,
room.
a dead fly. You there, Wizen man.
Yeah. Anyway, right then, I'm going to sign off. So thank you to everyone for
Yes.
watching and listening. I'm going to stop the Icecast now.
Very much.
We'll see you, or you'll hear us, or vice versa, whatever, next week, I would imagine.
We'll be
um,
in New Year's.
Yep. So take care of yourselves.
I'm riding home on the bicycle on the weekend. That'll be an adventure.
No, okay.
It's like 6 hours.
6 hours. Bloody hell, you'll be like, your arse will be dead. You'll be like, you'll have no feeling whatsoever in your arse.
Perfectly in shape.
Well, there is that. Yeah, I suppose it's a good
vibrating muscle thing.
it's a good workout in some ways. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Uh huh. All right, and
There's only one
so
workout that's better. See you next week.
yeah, see you next time, folks. Take care. Bye bye.